Little Miss Helpful and the Greenhouse by Roger Hargreaves. With a name like Helpful, you would think that Little Miss Helpful would be helpful, wouldn't you? Well, you'd be wrong. She wanted to help people more than anything else in the world, but as hard as she tried, she always ended up being unhelpful. One day, about a week ago, Little Miss Helpful was sitting on a bus on her way to town. Mr. Slow and Mr. Happy were sitting in front of her having a conversation. "I wish I had a greenhouse, but I never get the time to do anything," said Mr. Slow to Mr. Happy. It was a very slow conversation. Just then the bus stopped. Now what Little Miss Helpful had just overheard had given her an idea. She got off the bus and walked across to Mr. Nail's hardware store and bought all the green paint that he had. Then Mr. Nail delivered all the green paint to Mr. Slow's house. I am sure you can guess what she had in mind. That's right. She was going to surprise Mr. Slow by helping him paint his house green. Helpful Little Miss Helpful. Little Miss Helpful started to paint. She painted all the walls. She painted all the doors. She painted the chimney and the roof. She even painted all the windows, the window panes as well as the frames. When she had finished painting the house, she still had some paint left over. So she painted the garage as well, outside and inside. Little Miss Helpful was terribly pleased with herself. She stood back to admire her handiwork. It was then that Mr. Slow arrived back home. In the time it had taken Miss Helpful to paint his house, he had bought a loaf of bread. He isn't called Mr. Slow for nothing. Mr. Slow had to look twice before he realised that his house was still there. "What have you done?" he exclaimed. "You said you wanted a green house," said Miss Helpful. "So there you are." "That's not what I meant. I want a greenhouse," said Mr. Slow. "Exactly," said Miss Helpful, "and I painted your house green." "No, I want the sort of greenhouse that you grow tomatoes in," explained Mr. Slow slowly. "Oh," said Little Miss Helpful. "Then what colour did you want your house to be?" Mr. Slow groaned a very slow groan. He could see it was going to be a very long afternoon, even for him.